This is the 1 year reading for Sprouts Farmers Markets. Sprouts Farmers Markets. The ticker is SFM. Sam, Frank, Matthew. SFM. And this is for the year 2022. One more time. Okay, we're going to read the main theme and overall behavior for Sprouts Social this year, or excuse me, the main theme and overall behavior for Sprouts Farmers Market is a revisiting of a notable support level that was a great opportunity. It's crossed with a sharp decline, so there'll be a sharp decline into a like a revisiting of a notable support level that was a past like awesome opportunity. Okay, behavior around the high. We're gonna have a U-shaped dip that forms somewhere around two perpendicular trend lines. They're perpendicular diagonal trend lines. They intersect, and it forms somewhere around that intersection a U-shaped dip. Behavior around the year's lows. We're going to have a fast sudden move lower within a period of volatility. All right, guys, and each of these four clusters, it's the same. They each represent a month. So this is early January, January's high, January's low, January's close, February's early February, February's high, February's low, February's not the close but the end of February. So early, late, high, low. January, February, right? So January, we have an opportunity around the high. We meet a resistance level, a significant resistance level, and then volatility forms when we break down out of that. We will not revisit the peak that the price level that we fall from in early January for quite some time. And it's a decline to a support level that we bounce around some rotation along horizontal. Towards the end of the month, there's a sharp decline from that Ace of Swords resistance. All right, and then so there's an opportunity there. It looks like to play both sides of the market. So I'll be buying calls and puts or hedging long positions around the high of January, and then the president or a male leader, likely the president, is highlighted. A male CEO Looks like possibly the CEO is highlighted here, a male leader of some sort, but possibly the CEO highlighted around the high for February. There's an opportunity within a J-shaped dip in early February. There's a crest that we revisit within close time proximity to the low for February. There's it's kind of like cross higher, lower, and you've got like the price level right in there. Sort of like an M shape that goes back and forth through the same price level. That'll be around the low. And then there is notable profit taking towards the end of February from near overbought territory. I'm advised to be prudent. Multiple highs or multiple lows. Looks like possibly multiple lows. We have a fast sudden move higher out of a decline, and it marks the end of a period of decline. That's early March. Late March, we have a sharp decline through a support level that was the past like all-time high or very like prominent like longer-term high. We break down through that. It had become support. We reached a new level, and then we broke down through that past resistance that had become support. That's towards the end of March. Behavior around the high, we're going to have a good opportunity here around the high to open some short positions or hedge against long positions, buy puts, that sort of thing, around the high in March. And there's a failed attempt to break a key resistance level followed by a sharp decline through a support level, through an important support level to reach the low. All right, so there's an opportunity at a very important price level, at a very important resistance level, I should say, in early April. And that's just before, it's the end of a bullish trend, and there's the completion of some sort of move higher, and that early in April marks an opportunity around that important resistance level before there's a sharp decline. Disappointment, something that we were counting on, that investors were counting on, that we were expecting, did not come to fruition, and there was a surprise failure as a result. And the strife card is going to form when we have lower highs that form when we have spikes on the way down, and those spikes on the way down, are going to meet resistance at the moving averages that will be in bearish formation, and that will lead to the month's low in April. All right, so we have an intentional fake out here in early May. There's a big move higher, two equal and opposite moves that cancel each other out. So there's a big move higher followed by an equal movement lower. They kind of the move higher is nullified because we revisit where we moved higher from. Off of the low, there's big push high to the upside, and that's where we see a peak. Towards the end of the month of May, we see a peak that forms when we break through resistance just briefly before breaking back down off of that peak that is formed when we break down through that price level again. And a notable high of some sort towards the end of the month with a reversal involved. All right, so behavior in early June is going to be breaking down through a support level to meet a second support level. We bounce around that support level before breaking down through more support levels. Behavior around the high that leads to the high is going to be a rally that has a fast sudden move higher, marking the end of it, and we break down through a diagonal trend line with increasing volatility on the way down. There's an opportunity for me to play both sides of the market around the low here in June, and then it looks like Congress or some sort of like, it may be, it's some sort of, like a competitor. A competitor is highlighted. Some sort of decision with the CEO of a different company, a company that competes with Sprout Farmers Markets, will be highlighted here at the end of June. Big move in early July, even in the face of overwhelming headwinds. So this information here with the whatever happens here that highlights this. Whatever happens here that highlights this CEO or leader from a competing company, it's going to be some negative headwinds, but even so, in early July, we push higher, possibly even breaking through resistance level. We attempt to establish support around the high. 3 failed attempts to establish support, like 3 breakthroughs, and that's followed by a sharp decline from the third poke through. Towards the end of the month. But in the early part of the month of July, there's a big push to the upside. We're likely oversold in June, or we enter the month of July oversold, and there's a big move or a short squeeze to like out of the low in early July. A fast sudden move higher in early August. A resistance level, an important resistance level is highlighted in late August. There's a breakout to reach the high here for August, and then behavior around the low. We have a bullish rotation that increases in bullishness and momentum as it moves forward in time. All right, sharp decline through multiple support levels. One of the most prominent declines here through multiple support levels in early September. We have fast sudden move higher within a period of volatility that marks the end of that period of volatility around the low here in September. And an opportunity to open some long positions around the end of September. We're going to go from a important support level straight to an important resistance level, and likely create new support with that resistance level, reaching the high here in September. Opportunity to cash in early October. We have some sideways price movement around the high here. There's like a sideways fluidity in equal amount of bulls and bears around the high here for September, and a important low, or even the year's main low here, possibly around the low of October, and then we have a trade opportunity at the end of October, an opportunity to cash in. A lot of trade here in October. Wow. Huh. Okay. We sell down to a support level, through that support level, and then we come back up, and that support level acts as support in early November. A decision between 2 leaders, a merger of some kind. There may be a merger Oh, they may be bought. Sprout Farmers Market, they may be bought by like Whole Foods or something like that. It looks to me like Sprout Farmers Market is going to get bought up, guys. A merger. It's going to get bought, or there's going to be it's going to merge with another company. Possibly, it's likely this competitor here in the end of June. The ESO Meta will likely enlighten me and elaborate for me what type of scenario that is over there. And then we have a sideways S, two declines with an incline in between them, and they kind of like bounce off support, hit the resistance, bounce off or meet that support again. It's a sideways S towards the end of November, and a sharp decline based on multiple headwinds to reach the low in November. Now, in December, we have a big push to the upside along a trend line. We break through resistance, meet a second resistance, and then we pull back to somewhere between those two price levels in early December. Late December, there's a notable amount of volatility. It picks up steam as we exit the year. There's a big push to the upside, to like a very notable, prominent move to the upside to reach December's high. The low, out of the low, we're going to bump up against resistance, break through resistance, bump up against resistance, break through resistance, that sort of thing, around the December low. All right. Now, local highs, there's going to be a significant top to the range where we're going to see local highs. Local lows are going to form after like little pokes up through resistance, and then they're there briefly and break back down. It creates like a point. That's local lows are going to be formed from those kind of like tops that you're falling from those tops to reach the local lows. There's going to be a big push to the upside. That is one trade opportunity. A sharp downward move in the midst of a period of price swings offers another opportunity. Oh, those came out together. That's multiple failed attempts to reach key resist or break key resistance, and price profit taking from a high in notably overbought territory. Final trade. A rally that picks up steam and momentum as we move forward in time. So there's a notable high, there's a notable price level as we exited 2021. I see an important trade opportunity around the high in May. It's March, around the high in March. There's a notable opportunity to protect long investments, to protect long positions. There's a notable opportunity to buy puts, to short this stock, to protect your long positions, that sort of thing, in around the high of March into somewhere into the high of April. Looks like we have a merger. First, we have news of a merger. Creates a decline, a sharp decline that picks up steam as we exit that month of June. But there's news of a merger, right? And I believe that merger takes place here. There's a merger, and there's a bunch of like buying and selling that goes on here, and then a merger. And after the merger, there's a big push to the upside. It looks like investors like the merger. Whatever company is the result of this, it takes off. All right, guys. So it looks like there's an opportunity revisiting a low. That's the main component. There was an opportunity at a low to revisit a low, and it happens from a sharp decline. It's likely here in June, but again, the second portion of this reading where I do the SO meta-analysis, it's pattern recognition. I'm able to determine lows, highs, local highs, like years high, years low, the best trade opportunities, where they are in the months for 2022, all that stuff, even like important prominent highlights or moments for this stock, Sprouts. If you want to see that, that's the second portion. That's the SO meta-analysis portion, the pattern recognition developed over 22 years. Go check it out on YouTube. Go check it out on the website. We got a bunch of places, guys. Click on the link below. And don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. We're doing this like for a ton of stuff. We have a 97.5 to 98% average accuracy. You can take those words and go calculate based on the last 2 years, and that's what you're going to get, guys. Go sign up for our free newsletter as well. We come out with the monthly predictions every month, about a week ahead of the month. Those are like 98% accurate. That's the average. Go check it out, guys. I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. I'll see y'all later, guys. God bless. What's up, my friends? Just did the Sprout Farmers Markets, SFM, Sam, Frank, Matthew, SFM. I just did the 1 year for 2022. Looks like we have some news about a merger that comes out about halfway through the year, towards the end of June, and then a merger that takes place somewhere around October, November-ish. It's a positive outcome. It looks like December we push much higher, but the news that comes out at the end of June, it has a negative impact. People get scared, they're selling off, and that marks an opportunity in early July, or around the low in July. Check that out, guys. There's also an opportunity, the end of a bullish trend somewhere around the end of March into early April. And a ton of trade opportunity here, guys, in the end of September and throughout October, guys. Ton of trade opportunity, cashing in based on this merger information that's going to come out about Sprout Social. Guys, I recommended this company, I think it was 2019. I believe it was the IPO, so go check it out. I mean, it's at $29 right now, and that's not its high. So check out this reading. It's a lot of good information. Good luck. Good trading. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, spread the word, my friends. Pay it forward. It comes back threefold. God bless.